He had been walking through the forest for hours, the alien sun dipping low behind the jagged mountains, painting the sky with shades of orange and purple. He was a human explorer, curious and brave, always searching for signs of life on this distant planet. His ship had landed days ago, and while most of the planet seemed quiet, he always felt that something unusual could happen at any moment. As he moved carefully through the thick foliage, his eyes caught a faint movement near the edge of a small clearing. He slowed down, his heart beating faster, and saw a young alien girl crouched behind a rock, her long silver hair covering most of her face. She looked small and fragile, her skin shimmering faintly under the sunlight, unlike anything he had seen before. He raised his hands slowly, showing that he meant no harm, and called out softly, "Hello, are you okay?" The girl froze, staring at him with wide, glowing eyes, then slowly stepped out from behind the rock, her movements careful and hesitant. He noticed bruises on her arms and legs, and some scratches on her face. It was clear she had been through a struggle. As he approached, he noticed something strange, a small lump on her back, just above her shoulder blade. It was unusual, slightly moving as if it had a life of its own. His eyes widened in surprise, and he instinctively stepped closer to get a better look. The girl flinched and whispered something in a language he could not understand, her voice soft and shaky. He crouched down, trying to appear gentle and non-threatening. "It's okay, I won't hurt you," he said, hoping she could understand the meaning. The lump on her back shifted again, a subtle, pulsating movement, almost like it was breathing. A chill ran down his spine as he realized this was not normal, not like any injury or tumor he had studied in humans or known species. The girl looked at him with fear, but also with a small spark of trust. She slowly nodded, and he carefully extended his hand, palm open. Giving her the choice to move closer, she hesitated, then stepped forward, letting him examine her more closely. The movement of the lump made him uneasy, yet curiosity and concern for her well-being pushed him to investigate. He guided her to a small clearing nearby where the sunlight was softer, illuminating the strange colors in her skin. The forest was quiet, except for the soft rustle of leaves and distant calls of alien birds. He asked her again, gently, "Can I help you?" She nodded slowly, eyes wide with both fear and hope. He realized she must have been alone for a long time, hiding from something or someone. Kneeling down, he carefully looked at the lump, noticing tiny veins or tendrils running across her skin. It was alive. He could feel it somehow, reacting to his presence. His mind raced, wondering if it was a parasite, a new form of alien life, or something far stranger. The girl flinched every time he got too close, whispering soft alien words, and he tried to mimic her tone, showing he meant no harm. Time seemed to slow as he observed her, feeling both awe and worry. The lump suddenly shifted more violently, and the girl gasped, holding her back as if it hurt. He instinctively reached out, supporting her, and whispered, "It's okay, I'll help you." She looked at him, and for the first time, a flicker of relief crossed her face. He realized she could not survive alone in this forest, not with something strange growing on her back. He decided to bring her to his temporary lab in the ship, where he could study her safely. The journey would be difficult, but he could not leave her here. The alien girl trusted him enough to take his hand, and they started moving slowly through the forest, every shadow and sound making him alert. As they walked, he tried to communicate, pointing at plants, animals, and the sky. Hoping she would understand, she pointed at the lump, shaking her head, and he nodded, silently promising to find out what it was. The forest seemed endless, but the thought of uncovering the mystery of the lump and helping this alien girl pushed him forward. By the time they reached the clearing near his ship, the sun had disappeared behind the mountains, and the stars began to glow. He looked at her, and she looked back, both of them tired but connected in a strange way. He knew this was just the beginning, that the lump on her back held secrets far beyond anything he had imagined. And as he opened the ship door, he whispered, "We'll figure this out together." And she nodded, her glowing eyes reflecting the starlight, leaving the audience wondering what would happen next. Once inside the ship, he carefully guided the alien girl to a soft bed he had prepared. The hum of the ship's engines filled the room, a quiet reminder that they were far from the dangerous forest. She looked around nervously, glancing at the strange human tools and glowing screens, and he tried to smile, hoping to calm her. He needed to examine the lump on her back properly, but he also wanted her to feel safe. He retrieved a small, gentle light scanner, Holding it near the lump without touching her, the device glowed softly, revealing patterns and colors beneath her skin. Moving almost like tiny streams of liquid, the girl flinched, pulling slightly away, and whispered something urgent in her alien language. He shook his head, signaling he did not understand, then pointed at the lump, showing curiosity but not danger. She hesitated, then reluctantly allowed him to get closer. As he observed, he noticed the lump pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. But there was something else, a faint glow that seemed to respond to his presence. He leaned closer, intrigued and cautious, wondering if the growth was not just a part of her body, but something more. The patterns inside it shifted, forming shapes that reminded him of small creatures moving together. He placed his hand gently near it, feeling a subtle warmth and a tiny vibration. He froze, sensing intelligence, as if the lump was aware of him. This was unlike anything he had ever encountered, and a mix of fear and fascination ran through him. The alien girl watched him closely, her glowing eyes wide with anxiety and curiosity. Suddenly, the lump trembled violently, causing her to gasp. She pressed her hand to it, whispering in panic, and he realized she was scared it might be hurt by him. He pulled back immediately, showing her he would not touch it without her permission. The room was silent, except for the soft humming of the ship, and the tension was almost unbearable. He decided to try another approach, speaking softly. "I want to help you, not hurt you." He mimicked her tone, trying to communicate empathy, and slowly, she reached back, letting him place his hand near the lump without pressing. The glow inside the lump brightened slightly, like it recognized his intentions. He activated a small 3D scanner, hovering it over the lump, and the device projected a holographic image, revealing a tiny, fully formed alien creature curled inside, its features delicate and unfamiliar. His breath caught, unable to believe what he was seeing. The lump was not a tumor or injury, was a living being, hidden safely within her back. The alien girl gasped again, touching the projection, and he realized she was protecting it, not hiding from him. His heart raced with awe and confusion. The creature inside the lump blinked slowly, reacting to the scanner, and he could see it was aware of both him and her. It was alive, intelligent, and somehow connected to her in ways he did not yet understand. He stepped back slightly, giving her space, and watched carefully, trying not to frighten her or the creature. He asked gently, "Does it hurt?" and mimicked her words, pointing to the lump. She shook her head quickly, but her expression showed worry. It was safe, but she feared something else might happen if it was exposed too much. Hours passed as he observed her, the creature, and the strange connection between them. He noted patterns, movements, and reactions, recording everything in his ship's database. He realized the lump and its occupant were symbiotic, each giving strength to the other, and likely capable of abilities he could not yet imagine. As night fell, the lump began to glow softly, illuminating the room with a faint blue light. The alien girl pressed her hand against it, whispering soothing words, and he watched in awe. Sensing the bond between them, he felt a mixture of fear, wonder, and excitement. This was no ordinary discovery. This was something extraordinary. Suddenly, the glow intensified, pulsing like a heartbeat of its own. The alien girl cried out softly, gripping the bed, and he instinctively moved closer, ready to help, but he stopped, remembering her fear, watching instead as the creature slowly emerged from the lump, small and fragile, its translucent body shimmering with colors he had never seen. He could hardly believe his eyes. The creature blinked at him, looking curious but calm, and the alien girl smiled faintly for the first time since he met her. She whispered a word, and somehow he understood. It meant friend in her language. His heart raced with wonder, realizing the alien girl had entrusted him with her most precious secret, asterisk. He sat back, amazed and careful, recording every detail, knowing this was only the beginning. The creature and the girl were connected in ways humans could not yet comprehend, and he would have to learn, adapt, and protect them both. The ship felt smaller now, filled with the mystery of life from another world, and a sense of adventure that he had never felt before. As he turned off the scanner for the night, the lump returned to a calm state, the creature nesting safely inside, and the alien girl slept peacefully, exhausted but relieved. He stared at them, thinking of the days ahead, filled with questions, challenges, and wonders beyond imagination. And in the silence of the ship, he whispered to himself, "This is just the beginning," leaving the audience eager to see what would happen in the next part. The next morning, The ship was quiet, except for the hum of the engines. He was already awake, sitting near the bed, watching the alien girl sleep. The lump on her back seemed calm, but he felt a strange energy in the air. Something was about to happen. He could sense it. As the alien girl stirred, stretching slowly, the lump suddenly pulsed violently, making her gasp and clutch it tightly. He rushed closer, his heart pounding. "It's okay. I'm here," he whispered, careful not to touch it. She shook her head, eyes wide with panic, and the glow from the lump intensified, bathing the room in shifting colors. Then it happened. The lump started growing, expanding in size and brightness, moving almost like liquid. The alien girl cried out softly, pressing her hands against it, and he realized she was trying to protect whatever was inside. Her fear was clear, yet he saw trust in her eyes, a silent plea for him not to interfere. He stepped back, watching in awe, and the lump began to change shape, elongating and writhing gently, almost like a cocoon. Tiny tendrils emerged, waving in the air like small, delicate antennae. He could see patterns of movement inside, as if something alive was awakening. The ship's lights reflected on the pulsing glow, creating shadows that danced across the walls, adding to the strange, magical atmosphere. The alien girl's voice trembled, whispering words in her language, and he tried to mimic the tone, sensing it was meant to calm the creature inside. Slowly, the lump split open slightly, revealing the hidden being within. It was small, no bigger than a human hand, but perfectly formed, translucent with shimmering patterns, almost like a living crystal. He could hardly believe his eyes. The tiny creature blinked at him, its delicate body quivering as it seemed to explore the air around it. The alien girl reached out gently, her fingers brushing the creature's surface, and it responded by glowing brighter, a soft hum vibrating through the room. He realized it recognized her touch, and perhaps even her voice. He watched closely, documenting every movement, every pulse, every blink. Every color change was mesmerizing, yet he could feel the tension in the room. Something so small, yet so powerful, was now fully revealed. He wondered how it had survived inside her back, hidden for who knows how long, and what powers it might possess. Suddenly, the tiny creature floated slightly above the girl's back, hovering gently, and she gasped, pressing her hands against it as if guiding it. The glow shifted rapidly, forming shapes and symbols he could not understand, yet there was no fear in its movement, only curiosity, as if it wanted him to see, to learn, to understand. He stepped closer, careful, and whispered softly, "It's okay, I won't hurt you." The creature blinked, then pulsed a brighter light, almost like a nod of acknowledgement. His heart raced with awe, realizing he was witnessing the birth of something extraordinary, something beyond human knowledge, something connected to the alien girl in ways he could not yet comprehend. The alien girl smiled faintly, a mixture of relief and pride. She had been protecting it for so long, and now it was free to move, to breathe, to interact. He noticed the lump shrinking slightly, no longer a solid growth, but more like a container for the creature. Its energy seemed to feed from her, yet it also radiated life back to her, creating a bond that was almost tangible. Suddenly, the creature emitted a soft, melodic sound, vibrating through the air. The alien girl's eyes lit up with understanding, and he felt a shiver run down his spine. This sound was not random, it was communication, a form of language he could barely grasp. The creature was intelligent, aware, and capable of forming a bond with him and the girl. He realized the danger of misunderstanding this being, yet he also felt a surge of excitement, knowing he was witnessing something rare, perhaps a new form of life. He reached out carefully, and the alien girl nodded, allowing the creature to sense his presence. The tiny being floated toward him, pulsing gently, as if testing his intentions. For a moment, everything was still, a delicate balance of trust and curiosity. Then, with a sudden pulse of energy, the creature projected a soft glow that illuminated the entire room, forming symbols in the air that shifted and danced. He could not read them, but he felt a strange warmth, almost like a message of peace. The alien girl smiled, whispering softly, "Friend," and he understood. This creature, once hidden and mysterious, had chosen to trust him, and together, they formed a strange, unbreakable bond. The room was quiet again, but the tension remained, a reminder that this was only the beginning of their journey. He sat back, marveling at the transformation. The creature, once hidden inside a mysterious lump, now floated freely, full of life and energy. The alien girl looked at him, eyes glowing faintly, and he knew they had formed a team, a family, in a universe full of unknown dangers. As night fell outside the ship, the creature nestled gently back on her back, its glow soft but steady. The girl slept peacefully, exhausted from the transformation, and he watched over them both, filled with wonder and anticipation, knowing the adventure ahead would test courage, wisdom, and trust, and leave them forever changed. The days that followed were filled with wonder and careful observation. He spent his time learning about the alien girl and the small creature that had emerged from the mysterious lump. The ship, once quiet and lonely, now buzzed with a strange energy, as if it too sensed the bond forming between them. The alien girl began to trust him more, showing small gestures of comfort. She would offer him simple signs of her language, pointing to objects, mimicking sounds, and occasionally letting the tiny creature interact with his hand. The bond was growing slowly, but strongly, an unspoken understanding passing between them. The tiny creature proved to be intelligent beyond anything he had imagined. It could sense danger, respond to emotions, and even communicate in soft vibrations and lights. He was amazed as he watched it respond to the girl's touch, pulsing brighter when she smiled, dimming when she was sad. One afternoon, as he was recording data, the ship's sensors detected movement outside. He froze, realizing that the forest beyond the clearing was not as empty as it seemed. Something was approaching, something alive, and possibly dangerous. The alien girl tensed, and the tiny creature floated gently above her back, glowing in warning. A shadow moved among the trees, large and fast, and he instinctively stepped between the girl and the ship door, preparing for whatever might emerge. The creature pulsed rapidly, sending a wave of energy that seemed to ripple through the room, almost like a shield. The alien girl whispered words he could not understand, yet the sound carried a strength he could feel. Suddenly, a large alien predator burst into the clearing, its eyes glowing red and teeth sharp. It had been tracking them. Drawn by the creature's unusual energy, he realized they were in real danger, but the bond between the girl, the creature, and him gave him courage. He grabbed a simple energy tool from the table, ready to defend them. The tiny creature floated between them, pulsing light that startled the predator, forcing it to pause. The alien girl raised her hands, speaking in her language, and the creature responded with a stronger pulse, almost like a warning. The predator hesitated, unsure of the strange energy, and he realized that together they had a chance. He moved carefully, guiding the girl behind him. As the predator circled, watching their every move, the creature pulsed again, brighter this time, sending waves of energy that pushed the predator back. It was incredible, as if the bond between them gave the creature strength and control over the world around it. He could hardly believe what he was seeing. The alien girl's eyes met his, and he nodded slightly, signaling they needed to act together. She whispered words of encouragement to the creature, and it responded with a dazzling burst of light, forcing the predator to retreat temporarily. The forest fell silent again, but he knew it would not be gone for long. After the predator vanished into the shadows, the girl hugged the creature close, and he could see the relief on her face. She had protected it before, but now she saw that he too was willing to protect them both. Their trust in him had grown stronger through danger, forming a bond that was unbreakable. He realized that the creature was not just a being from another world, but a bridge between them, teaching him patience, courage, and understanding. The alien girl smiled faintly, a gesture that felt like a promise of friendship and loyalty. He felt something similar, a quiet vow to keep them safe no matter what. In the quiet hours of the night, they sat together, the tiny creature floating gently above her back. Glowing softly, he talked to them, showing objects, pointing at stars, and trying to communicate with simple words and gestures. Slowly, they responded, a soft hum, a tiny pulse, a flicker of light, forming a language only they could understand. He realized that this bond was more than survival. It was connection, friendship, and family in a universe where such things were rare. The alien girl leaned against him slightly, and the creature pulsed warmly, almost like a heartbeat in sync with hers. He felt a strange comfort, knowing that together they could face anything. But even in this peace, he knew the universe was full of unknown dangers. That predator might return, or other threats could appear. Yet with the girl and the creature by his side, he felt ready to face whatever came. They were a team now, bound not just by chance, but by trust, courage, and the wonder of life itself. As they rested that night, the creature's glow slowly dimmed, settling gently on the girl's back. She slept peacefully, and he watched over them both, filled with awe and anticipation, knowing that tomorrow would bring new discoveries, new challenges, and a deeper bond that would guide them through the unknown. And in the quiet hum of the ship, he whispered softly, "We're stronger together," and the tiny creature pulsed once in response, leaving the audience eager for the next part, the final chapter where secrets would unfold, and mysteries of the alien world would finally begin to reveal themselves. The next morning, the air in the ship was tense. He had a feeling that today would bring something extraordinary. The alien girl stirred first, stretching slowly, and the tiny creature on her back pulsed gently, as if sensing what was coming. He was preparing tools and scanning devices, when suddenly the ship's sensors blared, detecting movement outside. This time it was not a single predator, but a swarm of unknown creatures approaching fast. Their shapes were shadowy and alien, but the glow from the tiny creature startled them, slowing their advance. The alien girl gasped and whispered rapidly in her language, and he tried to understand, pointing at the approaching threat. The creature on her back pulsed, brighter than ever, projecting waves of energy that formed a protective barrier around them. He could feel the energy ripple through the ship, almost like it was alive. He realized that the creature was more than just intelligent. It could manipulate energy, shield them from harm, and even communicate warnings through its glow. This was beyond anything human science had discovered, and he watched in awe as it pulsed rhythmically, forming shapes and symbols in the air, almost like a map or a guide. The alien girl smiled faintly, pointing at the barrier and then at him, showing that they needed to move together. He nodded, understanding that their survival depended on teamwork and trust. The creature floated slightly in front, leading the way through the ship's corridors, its glow lighting the path. As they moved, one of the shadowy predators managed to break through the barrier. Lunging toward them, he raised his hand instinctively, using a simple energy tool to block it, while the alien girl whispered words to the creature, and it pulsed, sending a wave of force that threw the predator back. The teamwork was seamless, instinctive, and powerful. Once outside the ship, the world seemed alive with danger. The swarm of predators circled them, but the tiny creature hovered above the girl's back, glowing in brilliant colors, emitting sounds that seemed to confuse and repel the attackers. He realized that the bond between them was not just emotional, it was a form of power, a connection that gave strength and courage beyond human limits. The alien girl pointed to a cliff nearby, gesturing for them to climb. He followed, careful but fast, feeling the energy of the creature guiding them. The predators tried to pursue, but each pulse from the creature created a shockwave that pushed them back, almost like the girl and the creature were one, moving and protecting together. At the top of the cliff, they paused, catching their breath, and he finally spoke. "What are you?" The girl touched the creature gently, and it pulsed brightly, forming shapes in the air, and for a brief moment, he thought he understood. It was a guardian, a protector, and perhaps a key to the mysteries of her species. The swarm below grew restless, but the creature's energy formed a dome around them, shielding them completely. He marveled at the bond, realizing that they could survive anything as long as they trusted each other. The alien girl's eyes met his, filled with relief and gratitude, and he felt a deep connection, knowing they were no longer alone in this universe. Suddenly, the creature emitted a bright flash, projecting images into the air, showing visions of her world, the dangers that had forced her to hide, and the incredible abilities of her species. He watched in awe, realizing that the mysteries of the universe were far greater than he had ever imagined, and that this tiny being held secrets that could change everything. The alien girl reached out, touching his hand, and whispered softly. Together, and he understood, they had survived the first trial, but the adventure was only beginning. The creature hovered above her back, pulsing softly now, resting but ready. Like a silent guardian, he looked at the horizon, the alien landscape stretching endlessly, full of unknown dangers and wonders, and he felt a surge of excitement and determination. This was not just survival, it was discovery, friendship, and the beginning of a new journey. He had come to this planet searching for life, and he had found something far more extraordinary, a bond between species, a mystery of life, and a chance to be part of something incredible. As the sun set behind the jagged mountains, the alien girl, the creature, and he stood together, ready for whatever came next. He whispered to them both, "We're stronger together," and the creature pulsed warmly in response, the forest around them alive with possibility. The predator threat had passed, but the universe was vast, full of secrets waiting to be discovered, and in that moment, the human realized that this adventure had changed him forever. The alien girl had entrusted him with her life. The creature had chosen him as a friend, and together they would face the unknown, united by trust, courage, and the wonder of life beyond the stars, leaving the audience with awe, suspense, and a sense that the story was only the beginning of countless adventures to come. Asterisk,